So for today's video, I'm teaming up with a few other YouTubers from the UK money bloggers community. We're doing a series of 3 videos to help you and your money in 2021. For this video, we're going to talk about how to budget your money in 2021. So essentially sort of the top tips of how to set a successful budget and how to manage your money. So I've asked some people that I think are brilliant at managing money, and I've asked them, what is your top budgeting advice for 2021? At the end, I will give you my thoughts as well. So let's see what they had to say.
Hi, I'm Andy Webb from the BeCleverWithYourCash.com blog and the Andy Clever Cash YouTube channel. So my top budgeting tip is really simple, okay? But it's one of the things you need to think about before anything else, okay? And it's something called paying yourself first. What this really boils down to is when your salary comes into your main bank account or any other kind of main bits of income, when they come into your account, you don't just leave them there. You don't just kind of let it sit there. You want to pay yourself first. Now this might seem a little bit weird. What does that mean? Well, you're going to take a section of that chunk of cash, like a decent amount of that money, and you are going to automatically transfer that to a separate account. Now that could be a savings account, it could be money for investments, whatever it might be, but it's a separate pot that is for you, for your kind of financial future, your financial independence potentially, if that's what you're after. That moves straight away from payday to this other account, and all the money that's left, that's for all the other things, okay? So that's your essentials. You need to make sure you've got enough money for those things, your rent, your mortgage, your food, your petrol, all that stuff is essential, and then you've got your discretionary spend after that. But really the first thing to think about, the first thing to deal with is you, your future. That's what you're doing by moving your money over to this separate pot. And I say standing order will mean that money goes straight away as soon as you get paid. And that way, you're not doing what a lot of people do, which is pay all the bills, have nights out, holidays, whatever it might be, the money sort of dwindles. And if there's anything left at the end of the month, that's what goes into savings or goes into investing. This prevents that kind of danger of that money sort of trickling away. You've done it, you've guaranteed that money is to be put aside, and then you can choose how you spend the rest of the cash. Please do check out my Andy Clever Cash channel for more tips to help you make money, save money, and better manage your money. Thanks, Anna, for letting me contribute this to your channel.
Hello, I'm Nicola over at the Frugal Cottage, and I'm talking today really quickly about budgeting. So when Anna asked me about my top tip for budgeting, this is what I think is the one for me. So for me, I think the biggest thing to do with budgeting, especially when you're starting out, is to track your spending. It can be through a budget planner, a spreadsheet, an app, whatever works for you, but get used to tracking your spending every single day. And the reason for that is that you can then look at where your spending habits are. What can you do to change them if you need to? Where does your money disappear to? After all, we work really hard for our money, so you need to know where it goes. And then once you start tracking your spending, you can see the different places where you spend money more regularly. It gives you the power to be able to change that if you want to. It gives you the knowledge to be able to prioritise your spending where it matters. So then you can think about investing, saving money for long-term things, and then really take control of your money. And that all comes through having a budget in the first place and tracking where everything goes, and also tracking what comes in. So track your income as well as your expenses, and that over time will help you to really gain power and knowledge about your own financial journey and where you want it to end up.
Hey guys, Pete here from Conversation of Money, and my channel is all about simplifying the stock market for first-time investors. And this right here is going to be my top advice for budgeting in 2021. Now, I'm a former financial advisor, been in the industry for 15 years. I don't advise anymore, but I do coach now, and I create content here on YouTube to help people make the best financial and investment decisions possible. And when I coach clients, we talk about budgeting specifically. I often try to get them to think about budgeting differently. So let me explain. Typically, what happens is we know that we've got X amount coming in per month. And what we tend to do is we split that money into 2 pots. We have our essential pot and our non-essential pot. And our essential pot are all the things that you would expect that we need to pay for: the gas, the electric, the council tax, the mortgage, the car payments, the credit card payments, all those things that are committed that you have to pay for. Then the non-essentials are essentially the nice to haves, the things that you enjoy doing. So gym memberships, going out, dining out, socializing, so on and so forth. Not that we've had a lot of that to do this year in 2020. But most people operate on two pots. And in my experience working with wealthy people, and this is something that I do myself and I encourage my clients that I coach to do as well, is to create a third pot. And this third pot is for goals, aspirations, things that you want to achieve. So if you're setting goals for 2021, this is the perfect way for you to be able to put some money aside toward those things. And it could be paying off debt. It could be saving for a deposit for a house. It could be saving for a holiday. It could be anything at all. But by creating a third pot means that you're able to funnel your money into something that you want to do, that is an aspiration, that is a goal for you. So how might this work in practicality? Well, if you've got £100 coming in every single month, you know that you have maybe £40 going towards your essentials, £30 going towards your non-essentials. Well, that leaves you another £30 that you can put into this third pot to help you build for the future. Bucketing is relatively very, very simple to implement. It just requires you to sit down with your money and really think about what it is that you want to do in 2021 and allocating some money to that. But once you do that, you'll be very, very surprised that it's a nice feeling to have an additional pot of money set aside that you can access at any given time to help you pay off debt, to build an emergency fund, to go on that holiday that you want to go on next year. It's an easy, simple thing to apply. It takes a little bit of work, but that is my top tip for budgeting in 21. Catch you at the next one.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Jessup from Looking After Your Pennies, and today I want to share with you a tip that completely changed budgeting for me. So my tip is having a goal. So I call it goal-focused budgeting. So what this means is that I give my budget a clear purpose. I come up with a reason, something that means a lot to me, and I make that my goal for my budget. So this has worked for me in several ways. So I wanted to go part-time. So I had this goal of working part-time. So I made that the focus of my budget. I needed to save more money and I needed to reduce my costs. I also took my family on a trip around the world, so we needed to save a whole load of money for that. So I started making that the focus of my budget and saving huge amounts of money. Now, it doesn't matter what your goal is. Your goal could be paying off debt or overpaying on your mortgage because you want to clear that. But think long term, think about what this goal would achieve and how it would feel for you, and then structure your entire budget around that. I should be able to look at your budget and know what you are trying to achieve. It should stand out. It should be this huge payment in the overpay mortgage column. It should be saving for the amazing trip around the world. It should stick out like a sore thumb on your budget. And the great thing about this is that it makes making decisions around your finances really clear. When it comes to, do I want this expensive coat or do I want to retire early? You should know the answer to that because your budget has a goal. So decision making is super quick and super easy. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck with your budget.
So 100% I agree with what everyone has said here, and my final piece of advice is to budget months in advance. A lot of people might think it's over the top to budget as many months in advance as I do, but I firmly believe that budgeting about 12 months in advance will really help you to get your money together. This is what helped me get out of debt and really get on top of my finances. Essentially, the way that this works is it helps you figure out where you're going to be later down the line. So whilst you might think that you have spare money this month, it might actually not be the case, because a few months down the line, you might have a big expense that you've forgotten about. And if you spend the money this month, you will end up in overdraft or having to borrow money in a few months' time. So this kind of forward planning really allows you to see the impacts of your decisions now on your finances later on. This was key for me when I was constantly in and out of overdraft and in quite significant overdrafts as well. So if you are interested in having a budget that tells you where your money will be and how it will affect your bank balance, I do sell my budgeting spreadsheet on my Etsy store, which I'll link down below. But otherwise, I hope you found this video useful and the advice useful. Make sure you do check out all the other great channels that I featured in the video. They all provide amazing value content. I will link all of their channels in the description below if you're interested. And as I've mentioned, we've collaborated on 2 other videos, which I will link somewhere here at the end of the video, and hopefully you'll be able to check them out. Otherwise, the links will also be in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Gloria in excelsis Deo.